Good morning, good morning, good morning to all my awesome friends. Well, today we're doing something a little different. I constantly hear people tell me that they have a black thumb. They can't grow a live plant. They just have to stay with artificial because nothing stays alive. Well, that may be true, but there are plants out there that need hardly any care or love at all. And I'm going to share with you 3 plants that I have in my garden. Now, keep in mind, I live in Southern California, so I do not live where there is any snow ever. I mean, we've seen snow. I'm 76 years old, and I've actually seen snow on the ground where I live maybe 4 or 5 times in my whole entire life. And last year was one of those years. But it's very, very rare for us to get snow here, so we never get that cold. We get about 90 to 105 degrees in the summer. And our winters, usually a winter day could be about 60 to 70 degrees. And at night, it might go down to maybe 40 or 50 degrees. And on really cold times, we might even get to 30, but that's rare. So we don't get really cold here. So that's why I'm throwing that out there, because these plants may not live if it's cold, because I don't know. You'd have to research it. But in our climate, these plants will live with almost no care at all. And what are they? Spider plants. This is the first one we're going to talk about. This flower bed where these spider plants are at right now, we have been living in this house over 50 years. So we've been here a long time. For whatever reason, that flower bed, the soil was terrible. It would not, nothing would grow in it. It would just die. So I understand things dying. But sometimes they're dying because there's a reason, like maybe the soil isn't any good. So probably 20 years into that living in this house, I had a girlfriend say, I'm getting rid of a bunch of spider plants. Would you like them? Grandma, free. Of course I'm going to take it. So I drive over there to her house, get a couple cardboard boxes of spider plants. So I got quite a few. And I put them here in this area. And they were there 3-4 years, and they were thriving, and they were just solid spider plants because they repopulate so easily. And I was actually shocked that they were doing great. And I must have thrown some seeds. I did something where I threw something in that flower bed, and I was totally amazed that everything came up. And everything was fine. I couldn't believe it because that thing nothing grew. So I dug a few spider plants out and put a few plants in there. And everything that I put in that area grew just fine and looked healthy and great. So I don't know what is in spider plants that caused it to make that area go from some of the worst soil in my yard to some of the best soil. But it did do it. Now, that is the best part of this story. Now, the bad part of the story is once you get spider plants established in your garden, you can never get rid of them. I have literally pulled these spider plants out multiple times, all of them out, and they come right back. And as you can see, I'm getting ready to have to thin them out again or get rid of them again. But they're not really getting rid of. We're just cleaning it out if you can see the other plants that are in that area. Because you can't hardly see them. There's so many spider plants. So that is the bad thing about spider plants. But if you kept them in containers, they are some of the most beautiful plants to look at. And I'm really thinking about taking some of those spider plants. I have a lot of hanging baskets. And I'm going to start putting them in my hanging baskets because I already have the hanging baskets. And I'm going to hang them in my fairy garden from the trees because I have trees that are pretty big in there. And they don't seem to be bothered by no light, all light. I don't know. This area gets full sun part of the year, and part of the year it is in shade a lot. Either way, these spider plants seem to do just fine no matter what conditions you have them in. The cold don't seem to bother them. The heat doesn't seem to bother them. Nothing seems to bother them. And they just keep doing great. So if you can't grow anything, spider plants. And I would say they are a great, great plant. And I have them everywhere. You cannot get rid of them once they get in your garden. But I don't want to complain. At least I'm not looking at just dirt. I'm looking at an area that can grow almost anything if I want to grow it in there. So now another plant that I would say be careful. And here it is. And this is 100% my fault. When I bought this plant, it is bamboo. The nursery guy told me that it really gets into soil, you're going to be out of luck. Did I listen to him? No, I did not. I planted it in my garden. I have never gotten rid of it, and it's probably 40 years old. And you can pull it all out, and it looks like you got rid of it, but you really didn't. And it's been from the backyard to the front yard. It doesn't seem to be bothered by the cold, the heat, watering, or anything. It just keeps going. The only thing that I don't have it in is my lawn, and only because the yard gets mowed every week. But it's still in there. It's in my lawn. I just don't see it. So if you want something that takes zero care and you could just have a whole yard full of it, bamboo. It's tough, hardy, and doesn't seem to be bothered by anything I do. It's been pulled out multiple times. It's in my front yard. It's in my backyard. There is no part in my yard that this bamboo has not been in. The only reason why you don't see it everywhere because I'm pulling it out all the time. And as soon as we get into fall, all this bamboo is getting pulled out again. But don't get me wrong, it'll be back again. But at least I won't have it blocking my windows. So when we get into winter or fall, this bamboo is all coming out. And I'll try to replant these flower beds again with something else. But it's not going to matter. The bamboo will be back. Another plant that I have gotten in my garden, and once you get it, is Morning Glories. Oh my gosh. Morning Glories, don't get me wrong, are beautiful plants, and they make beautiful flowers, and they take no care. But this is the problem with Morning Glories. They suck the life out of your garden. They wrap their little vines around your plants and choke the life out. Please do not let the Morning Glories get in your garden, except if that's what you want to see. They're beautiful, and they'll get thick, and they will climb. They will go everywhere. So here is 3 plants that are in my garden that I rip out every single year, but it really doesn't matter. They're going to come right back next year. But anyway, my husband loves the Morning Glories, so I guess I let him see the little flowers for a few months and make him happy. And he gets upset every time he sees me ripping them out. I tell him, why are you getting upset? They'll be back next year. I sort of let them climb on this fence because they do look pretty, and I know that's a bad thing to do if I really don't want them. But, sometimes you just do bad things even for your own garden, and as you can see, there's some little things floating around in this picture I really don't want to see. Oh well. We'll have to wait and see what other plants I get where I don't want them. That bamboo has made it to this flower bed too. Can you believe it? Well, if you have a black thumb, now I've given you 3 plants that are very hardy and don't need any real care at all. Take it from me, I'm not giving these plants a lot of love and care. They just won't go away. They love my garden and they keep coming back even when I pull them all out. So, don't forget, you have spider plants, bamboo, and Morning Glories. 3 guaranteed plants that you can't kill or get rid of once they get established in your garden. They're all nice looking, but you better make sure you put them where you want them, and then the fun is trying to control them to stay in that area. I would put them all in containers, and Morning Glories I wouldn't even try at all. They are just the most beautiful plant you've ever seen, vining around your fences and climbing over things, but they'll suck the life right out of your garden. Period. Hugs and kisses from Grandma Sandy and Debbie. Thanks for all your kindness.